The NBA has crowned a winner. We knew Sunday was going to be the last game of the season for us, which was kind of sad. But could use a little bit of break because there's a lot of drama coming on in the off season, and draft season is coming up soon. But the OKC Oklahoma City Thunder have been crowned the 2024-2025 champions, as we kind of confidently predicted. What are your thoughts? How was the series first of all? Because I guess realistically, I didn't think it was going to go 7 games. I think I said 5. So, what was your thoughts on the series? What was your thoughts on the
Yeah.
injuries? And do you think that would have affected any outcome that we already saw?
That's, see, I don't know because bro, the Pacers scared me, bro. I'm not gonna lie, the Pacers scared me. I think it was game 3 when I think Indiana was up at the end of the fourth quarter. I fully tweeted it, bro. I'm like, yo, the Pacers are gonna win the championship because, like, I don't know. For me, like, yes, stats matter, advanced stats matter, all that stuff. Like all that stuff matters. But like the visual eye test, bro, it looked like Indiana like was in control, and I was
Yeah,
like, wow, bro. I was like, this is going crazy, and like even game 7, like like Tyrese Halliburton, bro, he went off like 9 points like right away. Like he was hot, bro. He started off hot, and I was like, oh no, don't tell me the Pacers are gonna win. You know what I'm trying to say? Even
hmm
though I don't, like I'm not invested like that, but still, like I was like, wow. Um, but yeah, as you said, like we anticipated 5 games. You know what I'm trying to say?
yeah,
Like the script made sense for me. Game 1, Indiana won. I was like, okay, there's their one.
yeah,
They got their one.
yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Game 2, OKC won. I'm like, okay, this is how it's supposed to go. Then that game 3, I was like, no. I'm like, say a word.
hmm
But yo, Indiana proved a lot though. They proved a lot of doubters wrong. Tyrese Halliburton is definitely not the most overrated player in the league. You know what I'm trying
Yeah,
to say? A lot of role guys like what's his name? Andrew Nimhard and Aaron Neesmith and Obi Toppin,
Matherin,
like
Obi.
Matherin. All these guys made names for themselves, and you know what I'm trying to say. And like it's unfortunate with the injury now because like Indiana could have maybe potentially gone back to the finals next year, or or win the championship because there's been parity in the league in the last 7 years. Nobody's
Yeah,
going back to back. You know what I'm trying to say? But yeah, no, it's sad that that Achilles injury for Tyrese Halliburton, It's sad, bro, because
yeah.
superstars are just going down now, and it's just like it's affecting the game, it's affecting the results. And I'd rather because, bro, people are gonna say now, oh, if Halliburton didn't go down with the Achilles, they probably would have won the
Sure.
chip. And bro, I see people online already saying that this championship for the Thunder has an asterisk beside it. So,
Jeez. I
so,
know. I've seen
so
that
yeah,
too because I saw every single series. There's been some type of injury where they're like, "Oh, this is what they had." For the Denver Nugget ones, they had Aaron Gordon.
Gordon.
Although he played, but he wasn't 100%. Another Game 7 series, right? So it's kind of like, oh, you could, people want to say, oh, like we could coin toss this one. You know what I mean? But no,
Yeah,
for sure, they were quite surprising. I mean, the fact that the Pacers took Game 1, that was their game to kind of. Everyone said they have to kind of win that game, and the element of surprise is there. What I thought was going to happen is that OKC was going to figure them out after Game 1, Game 2, they're going to win, and the rest is history. But I guess what I'm so used to seeing is that maybe one or two adjustments, and you can't really adjust beyond that. But somehow
mm,
the Pacers and Rick Carlisle found a way to make adjustments upon adjustments to extend it to a 7 game series. Right? Because once they went up 2-1, I was like, oh, like this is going to be a long series. Like that's already guaranteed 6 games. And if OKC
true.
makes one more slip up, they're probably not going to win the series, right? So the fact that they went up 3-2 at that point, I guess that kind of gave them the little bit of hedge ahead to make sure that they kind of had the series in the bag. But if it didn't go that way and it was 3-2 for Indiana, who knows? Going back to Indiana for Game 6, that could have been a crazy outcome potentially, and maybe just give them more confidence in Game 7. They were confident, but obviously Halliburton going down is going to have an effect, and everyone's going to say, okay, what if? There's always going to be that what if, right? But one thing about the NBA and the playoffs, like there's injuries everywhere, right? You could what if anything. You could what if
Hmm.
the Knicks season. You could what if the Boston series,
Boston.
right? So
True.
it's just so you have to default that everyone, injuries. You just have to kind of say that they're just neutral effects to the game because at the end of the day, like the injuries are gonna happen. They're uncontrollable. and you still have to play with the guys that you have, right? So it's unfortunate, yes. It would have been nice to see him play the whole game, but man, like I saw that coming. I forget who I was talking to, but I saw that coming once I heard a calf strain. Me, someone that has torn their Achilles, me that remembers, all these other players, KD, and so, like it's all one is all one thing. They all need each other. So once I heard calf strain, man, I said something's gonna happen soon. Like that is more than just a calf strain. There's gonna be a little bit more things to that. And like I saw the video of when he just pushed off and he just, like that's exactly how I tore my Achilles too. You see the pop and he
You
falls
push
to the
off.
floor. I don't think it's as painful as he kind of made it seem. I don't know. Between Tatum and Halliburton, I don't recall that much pain at first. It did kind of hurt a little bit hours later, but it's more of the pain of knowing what happened rather than the actual pain. Like if you if you tore your ACL, I believe that's a painful injury at the moment. But tearing your Achilles, I mean, from my experiences, it wasn't as painful at the very moment. But hey, everyone experiences pain differently. But I don't mean to
Well, I thought he was more so crying or doing all that because he's like, because like
I think he
I think
realized.
before Game 6, I think he realized he said that he realized that there's a risk going out
Yeah,
playing basketball, whatever. So like I more so took that as like he's like oh man, like it actually happened. Like no,
yeah,
no, not now, not now. You know what
yeah,
I'm trying to say?
yeah,
And
yeah,
it
yeah.
and it sucked though. But like going back to the adjustments part of the conversation, like it
Hmm.
was kind of weird because OKC didn't for game 1 and game 2 they bench Hartenstein, which didn't make any sense. Sorry, to start the game anyways, because they were the best team in the league. They got that far with Hartenstein at the 5, Chet at the 4. You know what I'm trying to say? Like they kind of went away from their bread and butter. So it's funny. OKC had to make the adjustment to what got them there to win and to eventually maybe figure it out, even though it went to seven
Yeah,
games. So that could have been a different conversation because if they lost, we could be questioning the coach like, why
yeah,
did you bench Hardenstein? You know what I'm trying to say?
yeah,
But yeah, it sucks. The injuries suck. The East is going to be so weak next year. You got Halliburton out, Jason Tatum out, Dame Lillard out. Like you got
yeah,
three guys who are on big, like big contending teams.
yeah.
Maybe the Bucks not so much, but and they're out, bro. I found it weird too that they all wear the number 0. I don't know if that's just a
Yeah.
coincidence, but
You
that's
know what?
kind of weird.
I
But
did hear something. Like honestly, over the past 10, 15 years, the league has strayed away from high cut ball shoes.
mm,
I look at my shoes. My shoes are low cut ball shoes. It's hard to even go out and find a high cut basketball shoe. KD,
mm,
known for low cut basketball shoes,
facts,
right?
facts, facts.
All of them were wearing low cuts. The Kobe's are low cuts. All the like, even if you're wearing the Sabrinas, which a lot of players are wearing the Sabrina shoes now, low cut
Oh,
shoes,
Sabrina, yeah,
right?
yeah,
So, um, and it kind of Kobe when he tore his was low cut.
low
Um,
cut.
so and I did hear something where like it does add a little bit of support because think about it, you're cutting, you're doing this, you're doing that. It's gonna put a lot of strain on that actual tendon. Like you're using that like and you're stretching it. Like you want to make a quick move, it's gonna take a lot of load off that. Maybe if you had a little bit more ankle support, it could help out, right? But that's something that probably needs to be studied a little bit because there's a lot of Achilles tears nowadays. A lot,
It's crazy. Well,
right?
I think play style might play a part in that too, right? I guess there's more
Yeah.
up and down, like you said, movement and stuff like that. But like, correct me if I'm wrong. I swear, like all of LeBron's shoes have been like high tops. Am I
Pretty
wrong?
much. As
And
of recent, they've been a little bit low. They've been
they've
quite
been
low
low.
recently,
Okay,
but
okay.
like the early ones, up until like Cleveland years, maybe Lakers and beyond, they've been low cut. But
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah, he was rocking some hefty shoes, right? Like they were high cut, heavy
They're high.
shoes from what I recall, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's true. But yeah, that's something's got to be looked in when it comes to all that stuff because too many people are going down in the playoffs specifically. Like they're playing their 100th game of the season. These series are going 6, 7 games, right? These players are getting exhausted, so something that they got to look into for sure. But yeah, I
Uh,
mean the fact that OKC won, I think they knew. I think I had them as my winners after that Denver series when they won that Game 7 because that showed a lot of poise, composure, maturity for their young age group and defense, right? So I think that was what solidified it for me. I think walking into the Game 7, I had my money on them whether Halliburton was playing or not. I think
Mm.
I think if things got a little out of hand, man, you would have saw the ref step in because you would have saw the ref step in because Game 5 they stepped in for sure. I'm not gonna lie. Although
Scott
they won
Foster.
convincingly, yeah, they won convincingly in Game 5, but still, there were some questionable calls that I was like, oh, okay, like they were given some freebies. A lot of the plays weren't considered playoff fouls, or those are some of the calls that you'd see in the regular
Yeah,
season, right? So
yeah.
you could
No, that's
justify, you could say,
interesting.
yeah, that's a foul, but like the gray area is that a playoff foul, right? And some of them really weren't. So I mean, at the end of the day, they won. They were the best season, the best team this season. They chased the Cavs and then passed them, right? So they were solid throughout the whole year. So they deserve it. You know what I mean? Shea is the Western Conference MVP, the regular season MVP, and the Finals MVP, which is
Crazy,
amazing to see. First time
crazy.
that that's been done because obviously they added the new Western Conference and Eastern Conference trophies. So first time that it could have been, well, second time it could have been done, but first time it's been done. Um, so yeah. So in terms of where OKC goes from where they are now, what do you see them doing next year, the next 3 years? Is it too early to call them a dynasty at this point? Because we know they
Yeah,
got
yeah.
too early.
Sorry, my bad, my bad. It's too
No,
early.
go
It's too
on.
early. No, no, sorry. The reason why I jumped in because that's too early because like I said, I was on edge watching that series with the Pacers, right? And like I don't want to sound like I'm disrespecting the Pacers, but like OKC was supposed to be the best team in the league. They had the MVP, you know what I'm trying to say? They steamroll well, they didn't steamroll because of the Nuggets series, but like they essentially got to the finals in a pretty easy fashion. Everybody had them winning in 5 games, most people outside of Indiana. And like it still went to 7 games. We don't know. Like a lot of people are sitting here, we don't know what would have happened if Halliburton was still in the game in Game 7. So if we're saying all these things, I'm not confident that this group is could repeat next season and that they're a dynasty. It could be the beginning of that, maybe in 2-3 years, because Chet's still young, Jalen Williams is still young, and Shea's still young. Well, he's like, well, I trust Shea. You know what? I trust Shea. He's proven enough to me that he can be trusted. It's everybody else because those games, man, like
Yeah,
Shea was dropping buckets and stuff like that. The other guys weren't doing anything, man. And like those are some droughts where you're like, damn, like nobody else can
yeah,
score. I still think they need to beef up their 3 point shooting. I still think they're not that lethal from three. You know what I'm trying to say? I still think
hmm
there's things that need to be done. I don't feel great that they won this NBA championship. Like, oh yeah, they were the heads like the Pacers, bro. The Pacers, bro. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I feel like the OKC it should have been a sweep or a gentleman's sweep. Um, so I think OKC going forward, they have lots of draft picks. You know what I'm trying to say? They can trade those draft picks. They can upgrade, any of their guys if they need to. Um, people's contracts are going to come up. Chet, Jalen Williams, and those guys. So like the CBA is going to prevent them from doing all these things. The OKC won a championship, so are they going to feel compelled to keep the same team together if they go past that second apron? I don't know, but
yeah,
I can't confidently sit here and say that they're going to repeat, man. I just can't.
yeah.
I don't know what you're thinking, but I just can't. I don't feel that way today, anyways.
I'm quite confident that they'll be, one of the top teams again next year in running for a championship. Um, and I would still kind of have to give them the default, I guess, to say, because um, from what I understand, they had the opportunity to kind of extend. Well, the Shea is going to get a contract, and I think they have the opportunity to do that for Chet as well. Chet, although he kind of let me down this playoffs, he stepped up a little bit in the finals, but still young, some room to grow. I hope he does grow because that would help them a lot. I don't. You're right. A championship team shouldn't just say, "Okay, we won. Let's run it back next year." They still have some things that they should tweak, but I don't think that they should find that with the picks that they have. I think they should use those picks as assets to get the players that they
Mm,
know they need. You know what I mean?
true,
Don't bring
true.
in anyone new and young. Bring in someone like Caruso or like one of those type of players where what you're gonna get, and you give up the picks for it. This is where
True,
I
true,
think that
true.
they should kind of do. You shouldn't take a chance on unless you find like a sniper, but like at the same time, you just don't know what you're gonna get with a rookie. You know what I mean? You don't want to put a rookie in that situation. I like the fact that they have the experience now of winning because they ran the whole thing to the end, right? So they should be a better team next year just off of that, but they still do have things to tweak in terms of the actual personnel on the team. Everyone on the team right now has gained that experience and leap that hurdle, but you still gotta fix the problems that you have, and I think you go after players that you can with those picks. Give up all those picks right now to make this extend as long as you can. Give up a couple. Give up they have the 15th pick this year. Go get someone that you know would help your team today with the problems that you have today, right?
Yeah.
Same thing next year. Like I think that's where they should be right now. Don't bring in anyone young. You already have your core. Sign them and just make the small tweaks. That's what I would say that they should do. But I can't think of another team. Like as you said, the East is weak unless Tatum comes back and well, they gave up Drew Holiday already. So and we'll talk about that shortly. But what team would be the team to beat OKC?
To
Name in
be
mind?
well, I'm looking more so that the bluept has been created now. The Indiana Pacers
Yeah.
show that like if you have depth, guys who are not scared and stuff like that, like you could like I said, they were it. Even when Halliburton went down, like the game wasn't necessarily over at that point. Like Indiana
Yeah.
kept it close. Obviously, I think in the third quarter, the Thunder went on a run and then it kind of separated itself. But like I think they showed the league like, yo, this is how you could potentially beat this team. Like offensively, you just got to be like there
Yeah.
as a team and stuff like that, and find shot makers and stuff like that. Again, I'm not saying that this team exists. I'm just saying that like, okay, so like in 2023 when the Nuggets won, the Timberwolves built that team now to stop Jokic. Like I think every
Yeah.
year, like last year, the Knicks traded for Bridges and re-signed OG because again they want to stop the Celtics. So I just think that especially how the offseason has barely even started, I think there's going to be teams out there that are going to be like, oh, okay, like there's this blueprint how to beat these guys. And even though OKC won the championship, they won in 7 games, and to me, it shows that they're beatable. They're still beatable. They were what, maybe if Halliburton didn't go down, they were what, 3 quarters away from potentially losing. I'm just saying they just don't seem like that. That's like last year. I felt Boston could repeat. I just don't have that same feeling for OKC. They just
Mm-hmm.
didn't did it convincingly. The like I said, the Nuggets, they just beat the Nuggets barely in that game 7. Oh, they slapped the Nuggets, but I mean like it got to a game 7, and then same with Indiana, like they barely beat them, and Halliburton going down probably played a big part in that. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I just think they got to be very mindful that I don't think they ran through the playoff. Like they weren't the 2017 Golden State Warriors, is what I'm trying to say, or the
For sure.
2018 Golden State Warriors. Like they had some adversity, but you know what? That might help them next season. It might help them because it might be like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, we were here, we've been there, done that, and move on. But
Yeah.
yeah, they'll definitely still be a contender. I'm not saying they wouldn't be a contender or anything. They'll still be a top
Mm-hmm.
of the West. They'll still be a great team. It's just they showed some,
Yeah.
some kink in the armor, if you want to call it, in their
No, for
armor.
sure. One thing I will say as well, I could kind of predict Shea is going to have a little bit of a tougher year next year.
Mm,
Because I all eyes on you. Try to figure out ways to like just like you said, they're going to find a team to beat them. Well, they're going to go after Shea specifically. They're going to go after Jalen specifically on how to shut them down to shut down the team. Right? He may not get as much calls because like it happens to a lot of players. James Harden, right? Like the league changed literally, and he became a completely different player based on some of the rules and some of the ways that people were defending him, right? So I think you're going to see a lot of adjustments, and it may kind of bring the kind of toggle back a bit for him. I don't think he's going to average 33 points next season, right? I think he's going to have a little bit of a tougher time. They're going to throw different defenses at him. So that's one thing I could kind of predict. It happens to a lot of players when they have a breakout year, they don't
mm.
really continue on that same pace at least the next year after that. That rarely happens, right? So, yeah, they're gonna have their work cut out, but the experience is good.
Yeah.
It's good that they were able to, you rarely see a team that is supposed to win. So that's kind of
Facts. Yeah.
interesting to see this year. So, kudos to them. They still got it done. 2 game 7s that they had to play, and they whether no matter who was on the other side of the court, they still find a way to get it done, right?